somewhere deep in your core, deep in your soul, you know that you are here to guide people. You are here to be a guide to humanity. Hello facilitators, my name's Malia Josephine, and in this video we're going to go over how do you know if having a career as a facilitator is right for you. So there are 4 different elements that I'm going to go over that hopefully will help you get a sense of whether being a facilitator is really your dream job, your dream career, and potentially even your purpose in this life. So why don't I just start us off with number 1. And this is about being really interested in process versus content. So I have a memory that I want to share that really brings this into light. So I was back in college in a workshop series around water issues in my local community. And it was like over a month-long series. And at the end of that series, I was studying environmental sociology in my undergrad. And at the end of that series, I remember thinking, wow, I am way more intrigued and interested in how that facilitator led us through a process among all of those different workshops that got us to coming to a decision about what to do within this Colorado water issue. And I was way less interested in the actual content of, oh, there's these water challenges and there's these technical answers to these problems. And so that was like a really big light bulb for me to be like, whoa, I don't even really care as much as I thought I did about the environment and finding technical solutions to the environmental challenges of our time. I'm way more interested in the process that facilitator led us through these workshops. So I think that that's something that really can be helpful to realize about yourself when you're in a meeting, when you're in a workshop, when you're in, any sort of like a strategic planning process. Are you the one who's really interested in the agenda? Like, are you looking at the agenda and being like, wow, like first we're doing this brainstorming session and then a dialogue and then we're doing some individual reflection. I wonder how the facilitator chose to do this. Then that may be a sign that you're really perfect for facilitation, because facilitators are all about being process experts versus content experts. Now, if you're more interested in the content, then you may actually be more suited to be a technical or content expert in the field that you're currently in. So that's number 1. You're really interested in process versus content. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is all about group dynamics. So I'm going to read off some words and just think to yourself, are you interested in these words? Group dynamic, community, collective impact, systems change. All of these words are concepts that encompass facilitation. So what I really want to take home here is that if you're someone who's way more interested in the group versus one-on-one dynamics, then facilitation may be right for you. So this is maybe a strong statement and people may disagree with me, but I really feel like facilitation is always about the group. If you are not working with a group, if you are working one-on-one, then you are not doing facilitation. You are doing something else. You are doing coaching or counseling. Facilitation is inherently the art of group dynamics, not one-on-one or interpersonal dynamics. Facilitation is inherently a group dynamic profession. You gotta be super interested in the way that groups work together. Group psychology, interpersonal relationships in groups, versus one-on-one. Like if you're way more interested in working just one-on-one with an individual, then like I said, you may be more interested in coaching or in counseling, because facilitation is always going to be working with a group. All right, let's move on to number 3, which is this. Somewhere deep in your core, deep in your soul, you know that you are here to guide people. You are here to be a guide to humanity. And what that actually looks like is you're really interested in helping groups come to a decision on their own, versus you're not as interested in telling a group an answer. You want to help the group find an answer versus you want to tell the group what the answer is. So facilitators are guides. They are there to support the group in finding what's the best agreement for them. And you're really there tending that space. You're really there helping people have effective communication, effectively think together, work together. And that's what your mission is, to be an amazing guide, guiding people through group dynamics. So that's something to really think about. If you feel in your heart you're here to guide people, then facilitation may be right for you. And it's a little different than leadership, although there is facilitative leadership. But I'd say, leading, traditional leading, has more of that top-down dynamic where you're telling people the answer, while guiding or facilitative leadership is much more of a bottom-up dynamic where you're helping the group reach a solution together. Okay, last one, and this is number 4. So what are you helping guide people to? Well, you may know that you're a facilitator if you're really interested in helping guide groups to a collective decision. So the way I like to think about this as an example is when I'm with my group of friends, I'm always the one who's trying to make it as inclusive as possible. If I notice that someone's kind of being left out, I will go talk with them. If I notice we're in a conversation and a group conversation and someone's not talking, I'll be like, hey, Susan, what do you think? I'm really interested in group cohesion, in the group coming together. And that's really a cardinal sign of you being an excellent facilitator, is that you're really interested in that inclusion and you're really good at keeping neutrality when the group is coming to a decision. You're not advocating really strongly for one direction. If you are more of that person, then you're more of an advocate. And that's different than a facilitator. Facilitators are very neutral, and yes, they have an opinion, and they may share that with their groups, not professionally, but they're not going to be mobilizing and campaigning for their decision to be the final decision. You're way more interested in finding a decision that works for everyone and making sure that everyone is involved in that decision. So those are 4 elements that are really essential to the identity and the experience and purpose of being a facilitator. And if those ring true for you and they're resonant for you, then facilitation might be the perfect career for you. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.